and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 163. Alright, I have just a couple things before we jump into the episode. 1, I am so sorry to all of you who I just messaged today on Reddit threads specifically. The messages I see, but the threads apparently slipped my brain, and I am so sorry to those of you who have messaged me on the threads side of things and heard absolutely nothing from me. I am not intentionally ignoring you. I feel horrible. I just don't see those because I don't really think about them. It's really stupid, but my brain just doesn't go there. Another thing, on my last episode, I don't know if any of you even noticed, but if you notice on future episodes or if it's just too loud, the music, I didn't turn the music down and I only happened to catch it, I think a day after. So I went in real quick, turned the music down and re-uploaded it. Seriously, reach out to me if the music is ever too loud. I will turn it down. It's kind of hard to gauge when I edit how loud it's actually going to be. But this last episode, I didn't even touch it at all. And I know that it was too loud. So I am so freaking sorry to all of you who had already listened to it before I turned it down. That is not how it should normally sound. But enough chit chat. We are diving in to this psychic book today. Also, I made banana bread because I'm ready for fall, and banana bread and coffee are just like a fall thing for me. So if you love banana bread and coffee or whatever your little fall treat is, let's snuggle into the fall theme even though it's summer. Let's do it, and let's go ahead and get on into it. It's
Lesson time.
Today's psychic lesson is stay balanced and connected. One of the most significant aspects of your psychic growth is developing the ability to keep yourself grounded or balanced. To do that, it is important to work with your fears and discover the support of your belief. A divinity or higher power whose existence you believe in, whether because of your religion or personal conviction. At the end of the chapter, you will learn an exercise for surrounding yourself with the protective, unconditionally loving energy of the universe and how to keep yourself connected. Work with your fears and doubts. Opening up to your psychic ability can be overwhelming if you are not prepared. This problem is especially evident in children and teenagers. Their first encounters usually happen without warning, and they are left confused and afraid of the unknown. Many spend the rest of their lives trying to run away from their natural gifts. For example, as a child, Pat was confronted in her house by an energy that visited her in the bathroom at night. Her parents had little sympathy for her fears. They insisted that it was all in her mind. Eventually, she learned to block out the energy for the most part, but she still lived in fear of it returning when she least expected it, until she learned that it was her psychic ability that had actually attracted the energy. Now she knows how to protect or ground herself. It is very easy when you first start developing your psychic gifts to become overwhelmed with what you encounter. If that happens, you need to stop and take a deep breath, release it, and go back to a non-psychic activity. Honestly, I've really been loving this book. I've been wanting to read it. I read like a chapter of it and then put it down and literally forgot about it. But now this is giving me a chance to actually read it and, read it to you guys because I find it fascinating and I'm hoping that you guys find it fascinating too. I've had a couple of you reach out to me and you like it, so that's good. But I really feel like it's been leaning into the stories that I've been reading. I don't know. I just find weird connections between the book and the stories that I read, and it could all just be a bunch of crap, but it could also just be something more. I don't know. It's kind of how you interpret it. I don't know. I like it. I hope you do too. And let's go ahead and move on to stories.
This comes from evillurking on Reddit.
We bought this house 1 year ago today, July 8th. We were told when we came to see the house, the previous owner had died, But it wasn't until we were a week or two away from closing that I found the obituary and read she had died at her home. Immediately, when we moved in, I started seeing things. My 18-year-old daughter said it was haunted from the moment she stepped in. She was not with us when we looked at it. This was after we bought it. It started with me seeing what I would say is a woman walking from the dining room to the living room, as I went from the living room to the kitchen. It makes a big circle. The house is a tri-level, so you have the main floor, then stairs that go upstairs to the bathroom and bedrooms, and separate stairs that go downstairs to the walkout basement that is open, except a utility room and a second bedroom. Also from moving in, every time I'd go down the stairs from the bedroom, I'd see someone standing on the other stairs. It's hard to describe this, but there is a window with no glass that lets you see the other stairs that go down. A friend has experienced this too. I've not had it happen in months, and nothing has changed. I kept this all to myself, but my husband, who has been a non-believer until recent years, with experiences he has had change that, started seeing things. He had a black shadow walk up to him in the bathroom. He thought someone had come in until he saw it disappear. Freaked him out. He has seen shadows other times too. I've seen shadows walk by and move doors. The weirdest thing would be seeing what looked like a person reflected in the TV, and it was black. It was like someone bent over looking at the TV very close, and then they stood straight up and stepped back. I've seen my husband a few times, and it wasn't him. I woke up and got out of bed. He was sleeping next to me, so I was trying not to wake him. I started down the stairs and realized he was asleep on the couch. I went and checked, and the bed was empty. The newest thing was last night. I had just turned my phone off and was settling to go to sleep. I wear a sleep mask, so it was on. I felt an arm on my hip, and it slid across. I took off my mask, rolled over, and checked my husband, who was asleep with both arms under his blanket. We have separate ones. And I hadn't felt him move. This is the first time it's touched me. Very weird. Before someone asks, yes, I have cats, but my door stays shut, and they are not allowed in my room. It's not everything that has happened, but a big chunk. I should tell some of my other ghost stories sometime. First of all, yes, you should share your other stories because I would love to hear them and I want to know what else is going on. But I genuinely just wonder if it is this woman kind of going about like day-to-day life. For example, like, I don't know if my grandpa would ever haunt the house that my grandma is currently living in, but he is like the first person that I personally know who has like died in a house and in his house. So when someone else buys their house, I'm not saying it's going to be haunted, but I will know the spirit there if he's still residing there. But like, I really do just wonder if it's this woman who passed away. Now, I'm also kind of wondering too, did this woman have a significant other who also passed away either in the house or just in general? Who knows? Maybe this woman is just stuck in the house and she's just going about her daily life, or maybe it's like her residual energy, you know, like it's not actually her soul. It's just kind of just residual. I don't know. It's spooky though that it is touching you. That doesn't feel very residual to me. The rest of it kind of does, but it's also the shadow thing that's throwing me off too. Because is it her actually standing there, or was her house haunted prior to you even being there? You know what I mean? Because truthfully, it could be anything. I just know that it gives me the chills, but in like a good way. But the other thing that gives me the chills in a, we'll say, interesting way, the fact that this person's daughter even said it was haunted as soon as she like walked through the door is also really spooky. And now I need to know, like, is your daughter maybe a medium or just like can pick up on things? Is she psychic? Like, I need to know. I have so many questions, but mostly I just want to know like what else has happened, because the more I think about it, the more I get creeped out at the fact that it's just a shadow. It's all just shadows. So anyhow, I don't know. I just want to know what you guys think, and let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
This comes from aggravating_try_5597 on Reddit.
Does living near a cemetery equal paranormal activity in your home? For context, there's a huge cemetery behind the apartment complex that I live in. While I don't have a direct view of it from my apartment, you can see it perfectly when you're out on the pool deck, and my apartment is right next to the pool deck. I am unsure if what I experienced recently is a paranormal experience or not. I had just put my son to bed. I laid down with him until he fell asleep as usual. And when he was finally asleep and I was getting up, I heard a voice clearly whispering in my ear, "Just don't say that." And I froze. I know it wasn't my son because the voice was a deep male voice. I know it wasn't my fiance either because he was asleep on the couch in the living room. This spooked me a bit. I'm not sure who or what or where it came from. I normally feel genuinely comfortable in my home. When I'm completely alone is the only time I feel like someone's there with me. It doesn't feel like bad or malicious energy, but also makes me feel a little uneasy because I'm sensitive to the energy and unsure of who or what it is. The only other thing I can say I've noticed that happens in my home is that sometimes the bathroom door will open when we normally keep it closed. I want to keep the peace and positive energy at home. I'm not sure what's going on, but if anyone can give me some insight, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so for sure, I think the paranormal activity in your home correlates to the cemetery, unless the place that you're living in is just haunted on its own account. But I'm thinking the cemetery has a lot to do with it. Now, like you said, you don't feel like it's malicious, which, let's be real, I don't personally feel like all the energy, all paranormal spirits are malicious and have malicious intent. So like, it's good that you don't feel that energy. Now, I'm not saying people don't experience malicious energy, but just in this like simple little haunting, which that sounds crazy and weird to say, but in this little haunting, this person does not feel threatened by it. Basically, they're just kind of like, what the hell? What is going on? And like, what is it? Since you're not feeling that it's malicious, although I will say it would be very creepy to hear a whisper, especially after putting your son to bed. That would be so creepy because you know it's dark. Even if there's a nightlight, it's still freaking dark. And you're kind of vulnerable because I know you're tired too, but anyhow, that's creepy. But I think if you just say, hey, listen, you stay on your side, I stay on my side, we can coexist, but you cannot whisper stuff in my ear and you cannot show up, do not do anything more than what you've been doing, just you stay on your side, I'll stay on my side, and we can coexist. Now, the only thing I will say is, since it whispered in your ear, just don't say that, does that mean anything to you? I mean, had there been like an argument maybe that you had that you said something you shouldn't have said? Was there something you said to your son that you shouldn't have said? I mean, I don't know. Did you say something that you shouldn't have said? Or did somebody that you know say something that shouldn't have been said? Or if not, and I'm totally not accusing you of anything, I'm just genuinely asking, but if not, I wonder if maybe the spirit on the other side is, maybe you have multiple, but the spirit on the other side is telling another spirit, hey, just don't say that. As in, somehow you caught them saying something to the other spirit at the wrong time, and it just, I hope that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's weird. The thing that I've always found fascinating is like, we get these little blips of things like, just don't say that, or hi, or whatever, but it's how do spirits do that? I'm gonna have to go like speak to a psychic medium, whatever, and figure out how spirits speak. Unless it's just like the psychic book and we all have this type of gift that we don't know about, and this is this person's gift. They can hear spirits. I don't know, maybe not. I'm reading just way too far into it. I am glad that this person does not feel like it's malicious. The only thing I would say is like, since you are next to a cemetery, if it is a spirit from the cemetery, there could always be more. There could always be, maybe they chose you because they liked your energy. Also, if this just feels really random, because it probably is, my child just scared the ever-living crap out of me. And on purpose this time. He opened the door and went, "Wah!" So, anyhow, I don't even remember what I was saying at this point. I'm going to have to start keeping a running tab, I guess, on how many times my kid scares me in an episode. But basically, I think this could be from the cemetery if the apartment wasn't haunted prior to, and you could get multiple energies in and out, and maybe a spirit has just, like I said, liked your energy and chose you. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but if you don't want it, all you have to say is, hey, no. And then kind of go from there. If it doesn't leave and it gets worse, you got to do what feels right for you. Sorry, I'm just a little shaken and caught off guard. And if you guys have any idea what this could be in this person's apartment, let me know. If you have a paranormal story like either story today, I would love to hear them. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all. Oddballs, thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever podcast platform you listen on. If you have any comments for this episode, comment below or head over to Instagram and comment on this episode's preview. To submit a story or for more information, go to itsanoddworldafterall.com.